Welcome. Let's begin with the invocation. Vajradhanayakon. Towards the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Amen. And we'll visit the elemental breaths using the words in Aramaic for these different elements. Begin with the breath of earth, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. We breathe in Alaha, breathing out Ar-Ah. Again, breathing in through the nose, Alaha, breathing out through the nose, Ar-Ah. Feeling the support of the earth beneath us. Feeling your sit bones, the strength of your bones holding you up. Connecting to that earth element within us and all around us. And attuning to the element of water, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We breathe in Alaha, the source, and we breathe out Maya, the water, the flowing of life. Breathing in through the nose, Alaha, and breathing out through the mouth, Maya. And then attuning to the element of fire. Breathing in through the mouth and breathing out through the nose. Breathing in Alaha. Breathing out Nura. Again, breathing in through the mouth, Alaha. Breathing out through the nose, Nura. That source of passion and intelligence and the fire within the warmth of the sun. Visiting the element of air, breathing in through the mouth and breathing out through the mouth. We breathe in Alaha and breathing out Ruha, the source of all breath, the spirit, the soul. Breathing in through the mouth, Alaha, and breathing out through the mouth, Ruha. On the breath of ether, this is a natural breath through the nose or the nose and the mouth, a refined breath connecting to that source of all breaths, of all the earth, the fire, the water, the air. And breathing in Alaha and breathing out Alaha. We'll say the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic together. Avundabashmaya Nekadeshimach Te Malkutach Nehwe Sabiana Chayakana Dabashmaya Afbara Havlan Lachma Desunkanan Yamana Washbalchan Chaubain Waktehain Aikana Dafkanan Shvakan Lakayobain Wela Tatlan Lanashuna Ela Patsan Menbisha Metul de Lachi Malkuta Wahaila Wateshwuta La Alam Almin Amen. Okay. So today we're visiting the next beatitude, the traditionally translated as "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." This is from Matthew 5:5, and I'll put the Aramaic here in the chat window for you. It's Tu weun lemachike dechanon nertun ara. We'll begin with an attunement from the reading of Sadi's book on this line, this beatitude. Again, tu voyun lamakike dehinon nertun ar ah. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Let's briefly recap the process so far. First, we consciously breathe, then we breathe into the darkness, what we have not been feeling. This opens a way to know more about ourselves. Light is revealed, and we feel a new world open around us and within us. This sequence also mirrors the creation story in Hebrew in Genesis 1:2-3. First darkness and chaos, then the breath of God, Ruach Elohim, which in Aramaic would be Ruha de moves into and through the compressed darkness. The Hebrew word hosech. When the divine breath stirs with love what is unknown, this leads to spaciousness and light. Here we have the verse usually translated, "Let there be light," and there was light. Consider what happens when we experience periods of confusion, grief, or depression. What we think we know and hold on to dissolves around us. According to Yeshua and the prophets, we then have the opportunity to discover enough of ourselves and enough of our lasting connection to what endures, the soul, to guide us through these times and beyond. Our lives in time and space are calibrated, adjusted more precisely by our awareness of the Ruha, the source of our individuality, which lived before our birth and will live on after death. In this beatitude, being in the moment, in that ripeness, takes us deeper into this soul connection. Lamakike, those who are dissolving, softening what is contracted or overly rigid so they can absorb. This directly follows from the previous beatitude. Even the English word meek, used at the time of King James translation, had a similar meaning. Softness, gentleness. It's related to our word mucus, a substance that flows and absorbs. Dihanon, of them, abundantly created from, being consciously in a state of makike. Nertun. The ancient Semitic root here is art, which points to strength, warmth, and healing, and is related to ara, the word for earth itself. Usually translated inherit, this word emphasizes that part of us shares the same substance as nature. From our deep relationship with earth arise all ideas of inheritance. Even in Western culture a few hundred years ago, it was considered that land did not belong to us, but we belong to the land. What we inherit, strength and healing, is what is naturally ours as human beings embedded in nature. In Southwest Asian story traditions, stretching all the way from Genesis through to the classical Sufis like Rumi, we are told that we contain an animal self, a plant self, a rock or mineral self, and by implication, a self from the stars. We carry a deep remembrance of nature and nature's activity already within us. Our radiance, a wave, a sound, are settling and condensing into a form, a particle. Sound at the end is one of those denser enfleshed breaths mentioned earlier. This whole word ar would be better translated as nature, but nature as a living force, not as a collection of objects separate from us. You may have already guessed that the expression translated inherit the earth does not refer to obtaining a piece of real estate. As we saw in the last chapter, earth includes our whole natural existence as human beings, our earthy nature. Here lies the essence of healing Yeshua offered, finding our home in the breath, And in our inner nature, we let go of what is overly rigid inside and are able to absorb what we need, not want, but what we need from reality through nature as we perceive it around us. This ripeness is a process, a ripening in the moment of need, not a fixed position or belief. So, another translation of this verse could be ripening toward those who soften what's overly rigid within. They naturally absorb healing power, their sustainable inheritance from nature. So, this morning I want to bring the music, the melody that Sadi put to this beatitude as a way of attuning to this line. And I'll be adjusting the movements a little bit just as a seated practice. So I'm going to sing through it once with the Shruti box, and then I'll show some movements, and then we'll just jump right in. Oh, and I'm going to put original sound back on. I turned it off earlier because it was getting noisy in our house, which it still might, but here we go. Original sound is on. Okay, here we go. And then there's a counter melody that's very simple. It just goes to ner to ara, to ner to ara, to ner to ara. Okay, so the movements I would encourage you to do is just put hands on the heart, and we'll be turning our heart to the right twice as we sing Tu la makike. And then for Dichanon, we'll just bow forward, and then Nertun ar we come back up. So Dichanon Nertun ar Tu la makike. Dichanon Nertun ar. And I just encourage you to just, as you turn your heart and feel your heart, and just notice any place where there's resistance or rigidity in our bodies, in our hearts, in our reality, our human limitation. See where there's places that might be rigid that you want to soften with Lamakike, that gentleness. And then bringing that back up into Nertun Ar and feeling that healing strength and warmth of the earth and our nature, that is our natural inheritance. That healing is there available to us if we soften that heart and turn that towards the big R reality, the one. And then for Nertun Ar with the counter melody, I encourage you to just radiate that light, that love, and also bringing that healing back in, that Nertun Ar. Diheno netu ara. Diheno. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. No, that's right. Diheno netu ara. Diheno netu ara. So I'll be switching back and forth between these two lines, and I just encourage you to just feel your way into this softness, this healing, wherever it's needed. Tuve ulamaki diheno netunara. 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 Tuve 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 ulamaki diheno 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 netunara. Tuve netunara. Tuve netunara. Tuve netunara. Tuve netunara. Tuve netunara. I just encourage you to bring this onto the breath, breathing in Tuvayun Lamaki Ke, feeling where there might be some tightness in the body, and just bring that gentleness, that softness, that healing of the earth, that is that nature that is within us and all around us. Feel its strength, its warmth, the softness. Again, breathing into Vayun, Breathe out Lamaki Ke. And breathing in Dehenon Nertun. And breathing out Ar Ah. I'll just put this on the breath for another 5 minutes or so. Just let yourself really sink into that. The softness and the gentleness that's available to us, where we might be feeling rigid and resistant. The healing is there for us. And if it's helpful for you, I'm just going to add one more thing. There's a place in nature where you really find nourishment that you like to visit often. You can bring yourself to that place just to bring even more attunement to that healing part of the earth and of the nature. Uwayun Lamahike. Dihanon Nertun Ar ripening towards those who soften what is overly rigid within. They naturally absorb healing power, their sustainable inheritance from nature. I also encourage you during this week to enjoy the beauty of the nature, the beautiful summer happening right now. Let nature be a healing force for you, especially when it feels like maybe there's parts that don't want to let go, that feel tight or rigid, and just let that warmth of the summer sun, the green of the leaves, and maybe if you're near some water, let that river just wash through you and allow that healing power to be there for you. I'm going to pause the recording for just a moment and see if there's anyone that wants to share anything. So I'll just pause it for. Okay, thank you. I hope that this line can be a healing source for you this week and beyond. So we'll say our closing prayer together, the prayer Pure by Hazrat Inayat Khan, a way of attuning to our teachers, to the great prophet and teacher of Jesus, and whatever teachers you can attune to, including for myself, I will say that Mama Earth. Inspirer of my mind, consoler of my heart, healer of my spirit. Thy presence lifteth me from earth to heaven. Thy words flow as a sacred river. Thy thought riseth as a divine spring. Thy tender feelings waken sympathy in my heart. Beloved teacher, thy very being is forgiveness. The clouds of doubt and fear are scattered by thy piercing glance. All ignorance vanishes in thy illuminating presence. A new hope is born in my heart by breathing thy peaceful atmosphere. O inspiring guide, through life's puzzling ways, in thee I feel abundance of blessing. Amen. Thank you, friends, and we'll see you next Sunday.